Alright, welcome back to the Crucible Brothers. My name is Lionhearts, and today is a little bit of a melancholic day here on the channel because we were right, but in a way that's a little bit bittersweet because it's led to an unfortunate state of the meta in the Crucible where yes, No Time to Explain is currently the best weapon in Destiny. It's one of the most overpowered weapons I've ever encountered. It's miserable to play against. I hate it. I am sad. I've also been sick for the last week, lost my voice for 5 days, and I've had to sit here and watch as everyone has mauled over the sudden, apparent meteoric rise of No Time to Explain, despite me dying on the hill since it came out that it is one of the most miserable weapons to fight against in the history of Destiny. Now, we've already iterated in a previous video why No Time to Explain is dumb, and how you can abuse it to the fullest extent, and everything in that video is correct and true. The difference is between then and now is there is no more Desperado. That has meant the messenger has left the picture and No Time to Explain stands alone amongst a field of bullshit and cannot be countered. It is a weapon that if you see another good player using it, you basically have zero choice but to use it yourself. It is that bad. So we're going to talk about it, how we can nerf it, why this even happened in the first place. You know, a good old-fashioned meta discussion. So before we get into it, make sure you guys take a second, like the video, subscribe to the channel, help us on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Like I said, I've been sick. Unfortunately, viral bronchitis went through my community. My brother got it, I got it, my voice disappeared for 5 days, it was pretty miserable, but we're back on the content grind. So show us some support, leave a like, leave a comment, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so, some of you may be wondering how exactly we got here. We're about 4 or 5 weeks into the season, and out of nowhere, No Time to Explain just exploded in popularity. The biggest thing that stands out is the Distant Shore week of trials 2 weeks ago, where No Time to Explain dominated usage charts in a way I haven't seen in a very long time. And that's interesting, because again, the season has been going for a while. The meta should be figured out, right? But there's this interesting phenomena that I like to call the lag of implementation, where because a season starts and there's a big rush to test all of these new things, sometimes it takes a while to figure out what older items fit into the current new landscape, right? So while we were messing around with all these new sandbox changes, the new airborne changes, we were focusing a lot on hand cannons, interactions with Solar 3.0, and in terms of pulse rifles, people were really concerned with Desperado, and then the Duality Dungeon came out, and New Purpose came out. That meant a lot of people weren't really concerned with No Time to Explain because it wasn't directly changed. People didn't use No Time to Explain in the air. It doesn't do anything unique with Solar 3.0. So you either already like No Time to Explain and continue to use it, but people weren't actively seeking it out to test it in the new sandbox, at least right away. Over time, as we get deeper and deeper into a season, that's when people start to branch out into variety. They start to go back to older picks. And I think that's why, kind of out of nowhere, it feels like No Time to Explain has shot back up in popularity. Because people probably went back to try it and realized, oh my god, nothing beats this in a 1v1. There's no more Desperado. This is broken. And then it coincided with a map that is very favorable for it in trials. And bada bing, bada boom, we're in a No Time meta. And make no mistake, No Time to Explain is overpowered. It is overpowered in a way that, honestly, I would go as far to say we have not seen since launch Last Word in Destiny 2, where Last Word would kill in 4 hits to the body, and it was to the point that if another person pulled out a Last Word in Rumble, the entire lobby was forced to switch to Last Word to have a chance to compete. It is that centralizing. Why is it centralizing? No Time to Explain has one of the fastest base time to kills, at over 40 meters of range. It does insane amounts of flinch. It is extremely easy to use. It is full auto. It has 0 recoil. It refunds ammo on crits, and the little gun buddy gives you built-in team shotting to help you get forgiveness to reach your insane optimal time to kill. In theory, the balancing factor of high-impact pulse rifles is that you have to hit 6 crits, you cannot miss to get the .67. You have to 2-burst, you have to have some level of skill involved. But No Time to Explain shoots mini fridges at a rate of fire that's very easy to control, and as soon as you annihilate 2 helpless victims, the gun buddy, for what feels like 35,000 years, gives you an out for reaction time, helps you find players you would have missed, and makes it so that you no longer have to hit those 6 crits. It is the best dueling weapon maybe in the history of Destiny, and maybe that is over-exaggerated on my part. I hate this weapon. I hate using it. I hate playing against it. It is so goddamn boring. I cannot stress to you how much I hated getting footage with no time to explain. It is the easiest weapon I have ever used. And I like pulse rifles. I love you. Bad Juju is one of my favorite weapons in any video game ever. And on paper, very similar, right? We got full auto exotic pulse rifles that are designed to put out high volume of fire downrange and not have to worry about reloading as often because their exotic perks refund ammo. In theory, very similar. The difference, Bad Juju has an average time to kill of 0.87, meaning it is tied by some of the most popular weapons in the game, i.e. hand cannons, meaning that your duels are lethal. You have to be perfect with Bad Juju. It has an insane skill gap, and it's so satisfying to use, but no time to explain, without any extra effort from you, beats 90% of what you are going to see in the Crucible. Just flat out, it's just better in terms of numbers. Now, the next thing I'm about to say is going to make some people angry, I think, but it's true. If Destiny 2, or Destiny as a game rather, if you were to look at the meta as a solar system, then the sun, the thing that everything Destiny revolves around in terms of the Crucible meta, would be hand cannons, shotguns, snipers. Like it or not, these 3 weapons directly determine the current health state of the game. If hand cannons are unviable, the metas usually feel bad. If snipers are unviable, the metas usually feel bad. If shotguns are unviable, the metas usually feel bad. That is unfortunately just kind of how this game works. So if as a primary weapon, hand cannons are like the statistical median, they are the balance point. If something is going to be better than hand cannons in terms of time to kill, it needs to have drawbacks. And right now, No Time to Explain has 0 drawbacks. There's no recoil, there's no like low magazine or low reload speed penalty, there's nothing. There's no penalty to using No Time to Explain. The gun buffs itself, it team shots for itself, its time to kill is some of the fastest in the entire game, its range band is damn near perfect. It has absolutely nothing going against it. So how do we nerf it? Well, I think you have to target the archetype, because like it or not, high impact pulses are unfortunately overpowered. And I say unfortunately because I do actually really like this archetype. It's just No Time to Explain that I hate. Firstly, I think a range nerf is pretty warranted, especially because it looks like we might actually see scout rifles become usable again in the next update. Pulse rifles still encroach into scout rifle range a bit too easily. No Time is a huge victim of that, it just feels like it has endless range. Another thing I would consider is recoil. I think recoil is a highly underexplored aspect of Destiny, and weapons could do with more recoil overall, so that maybe we could consider more perks for build crafting that increase stability, as well as add a little bit of skill gap. I think recoil control is a very high skill element in games when it's done correctly. What we don't want is random recoil. In an ideal world, we would have recoil patterns like a game like Counter-Strike, but I know that's unrealistic. But in general, I think guns being a little bit jumpier would be good overall, just to make them a little bit harder to use. And lastly, for No Time to Explain specifically, nerf the time portal. Nerf its rate of fire, nerf how much damage it does, nerf how long it lasts, and hell, increase how many shots you need to get it. Free team shotting should not be as good as it is, and right now, the gun buddy alone is what makes No Time so overpowered. But yeah, that's about it. I'm done talking about this accursed foul weapon. Like I said, I really don't like using it. I find it so boring. Like, nearly put me to sleep boring to use the No Time to Explain. It's that easy. Hopefully, it does get nerfed. I'm sick of it. I've been sick of it for forever, honestly. I've hated this weapon for a very long time. So yeah, this video is a bit of a passion project. Fuck the No Time to Explain. Like I said, I've been sick lately, so yeah, still recovering a little bit. My voice is still kind of inconsistent, but we're back on the content grind. Hopefully you guys have had a good few weeks while we've been gone. Make sure you guys do me a favor, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Helps out immensely, helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and helps me feel better for the fact that I've been pretty much bedridden for like 5 or 6 days. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video. You have a great day. Peace.